morning, guys. Welcome back. How we doing? Welcome back to the stream. Monday morning. How's everyone's fantasy looking? I lost. I lost in everything. I had like 3 players not play yesterday. Tyreek Hill, Olave, right before the game started. Sucks. Oh well. The weather is beautiful today. It's going to be beautiful now because there's a cold front coming in. So after a little storm, there's a little cold front behind it usually. And so this week's going to be, it's going to be pretty nice. You got booted from the playoffs on an adjustment. Yeah, I think a lot of people that happened to. Yahoo did like an adjustment on, who was it? I think it was, I forgot the player. There was some adjustment that happened that a lot of people got screwed over. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful in Florida, man. Wow. 72 highs of 70 to 72 for the next week. So highs of 72, lows of 66 for a week straight. That's pretty good. I like that. That's probably my favorite weather right there. Dak cost you a win? Ugh. Well, you can't bet on Dallas, man. That's why. Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good morning so far. Hopefully you're having a good morning so far. It is Monday. It is December 18th. It is closing in on the end of the year. Can't talk about fantasy. This Friday. Yeah, it's my birthday on Friday. Thanks, Margin. Appreciate that. Yeah, going to be 29, man. 29. Almost to that magic number. Yeah, I do forecasts on the weather. I'm a meteorologist now. McCaffrey got 49. Wow. Damn. That's a lot. All right. All right, so we got a good amount of people here. Let's get started. So, welcome back again, guys. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hopefully, everyone had a good last week. Today, pretty much what we talked about on Friday, that consolidation potential. It's looking like it's getting a little bit sideways out here, and there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. I believe it's probably necessary. You had a very large move on the market last week, and if after a big move like that, right, there's got to be something of a consolidation if you want to see the market stay somewhat healthy, right? So if it went straight up and then went straight back down, that would be a little bit questionable. But if we go sort of up and then consolidate, that's really what you need for another move on the market. So we need to build some of those building blocks again. We were doing that, and then we got that big move. So we're pretty sideways here today. Right, in the morning, pretty sideways on the NASDAQ this morning, the consolidation, as well as on the ES. So let's go ahead and sort of dive into those levels, the consolidation levels to be paying attention to. Because when you start to see this, right, when you start to see this sideways sort of consolidation, at least that's what we're seeing now. We'll have to see what this morning and today brings, but you need to sort of tailor the trading to it, right? We need to understand, hey, I probably can't ask for much of a continuation move today if the NASDAQ is stuck between 2 levels. I need to really understand the levels and make sure that I don't overstay my welcome on a consolidation range. So let's go and just jump right into it. That's sort of my feel this morning on the overall market. That's sort of how I am going to be cautious on that. But we'll obviously have to adapt like we always have to adapt as traders into what we see intraday. That's really probably the best skill to have as a trader is, right, being able to adapt to the current market conditions, being able to sort of stay fluid and accept what the market is giving us. So let's jump right into the economic calendar today. Let's waste no time because why waste time, right? Time is value. Time is money. So here we go. Charts, or not charts. Sorry, economic calendar. Let's see what we have this week. This week probably not too heavy. We have really nothing today. You guys can see here, not much today. Housing market index tomorrow. Building permits. Housing starts. Wednesday, consumer confidence. Crude oil inventories could be a little something there. Thursday, GDP unemployment. This is probably your biggest day of the week, which is on Thursday, the day before my birthday. So this is my birthday right here, Friday, December 22nd. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes in the chat. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to get, I don't know, man. It's weird. Birthdays, they're flying by now, huh? So if you're young, man, if you're in your, I'd say if you're under 25, you know, you're, that's where I wish I was, man. 21, not 21. I don't wish I was 21. I wish I was like 23 to 24. That was a good age. You're sort of still, you're like old enough, but you're also very young, right? You're like older than the 21-year-old. You're sort of in a good, mature state, but then you're not in your late 20s. But no, I mean, I feel in my prime every year, man. That's the key, right, guys? Every year, new goals, new opportunities. Continue to stay active. Continue to stay motivated. Continue to stay disciplined, right? That's really the key. Every year, you just continue to try to building block on top of what you've already done. So, yeah. Anyways, we're not here to talk about age, so let's continue. Thursday, that's GDP, unemployment there on Thursday as well. Friday, PCE, consumer sentiment. Am I going to be trading this Friday, guys, on my birthday? I mean, hey, it is what I love to do, right? I do love to trade. Why not do what I love to trade on my birthday, right? But you better bet that the size that I'm trading on this Friday is enough to buy a McDouble at McDonald's, man. Because if I lose money on Friday on my birthday day, yeah, I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to do everything in my power and probably just trade like one contract to not lose on my birthday, right? I don't want to be thinking about a trading loss on the night of my birthday, right, man? So that's just not something that I want to do. So Friday, probably a pretty late day for me, guys. Probably not much there, but PCE price index and then consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock there. All right. So really, the only thing is Thursday, right? Really, the only thing is Thursday. GDP, unemployment claims. All right. All right. Next thing I want to pull up real quick, guys, is just the market holidays. Let's think about holidays, man. It's fun to think about holidays. I love looking at this. Market holiday calendar because I always like to plan out. This is like this is like a trader's. This is like how a trader plans his vacations. Really, right here. This is how you plan your vacations, guys. Right here, the market holiday calendar. So. Monday, January 1st, guys, the market is closed. That's New Year's Day. Make sure you're aware of that. And then for Christmas, guys, coming up here this week, Christmas market is closed December 25th. Just know that. So that Monday, we have a nice little 3-day weekend coming this weekend, December 25th, Monday. And on the 24th, I think you have a half. No, I'm sorry, not 24th. Where's the half day? 24th is obviously a Sunday. We had a half day somewhere in here, I thought. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was looking at something else. Oh, this was for 2024. Okay, that's 2024. 2024, I know you guys probably can't read that, but next year, it looks like Christmas falls on a Wednesday. So there is a half day next year on Tuesday. But yeah, that's not this year. So this year, just Monday, market's closed, so we have a 3-day weekend coming up, just to let you guys know that. And then January 1st, you got New Year's Day. All right, guys, that's all I got for all that. Let's jump into it. So press that like button if you could. Subscribe to the channel if you could. If you guys are enjoying the content here, I'd appreciate some support with a like and a subscribe. All right, let's do it. So here's your NASDAQ futures, guys. And I think it's a few pretty clear levels, a sort of a clear channel here to be paying attention to. If we go to the 15-minute chart, you guys can see pretty clearly here, right? The supply that came in on Friday. So we had that Friday move. You know what? I sort of want to make it so you can see. I don't know if that's any better or not. I sort of wanted you to be able to see the bottom there. I'll leave it like this for now. I want to make sure you can see the dates on the bottom there. I know it's probably too small to even read, but something like that. All right. So you guys can clearly see, right? You see the supply that came in on Wednesday, right? That's your FOMC high, and that is your exact high from Friday. So that's our very clear supply, right? That's very clear today. You really can't make it much more clear there. You have a top from FOMC, a Friday high, a rejection point, and then a very nice potential level to be watching today. 16,885, right? Very nice level, very clear supply. Watch that level today. If you start to move into it like you did on Friday, and so let me show you something, right? This is how you sort of, just a little sneak into, or a little piece of advice on how you watch those slow grinding moves. Let me pull it up. So here is from Friday, right? And I had this, you can see this is Friday's price action. Friday's price action was just this slow grind to the upside in this channel, right? We would reject the top of the channel. This is the 2-minute chart, I believe. No, this is probably like the 5. It's either the 5 or 15-minute chart. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was the 5-minute. Does that look right? Might be the 15. I can't remember correctly. I'll go back onto the actual charts and look at it. But you have this slow grind to the upside, right? Right into that 16,885 supply. And once you broke this channel, that's where you really started to get some movement. So if you start to see a market sort of trade in this channel, guys, right? I usually like to look to see whether it breaks, right? Because the break will usually create some type of volatility. So if we go to I think it was the 5-minute chart. Yes, it was. If we go to the 5-minute chart here, on the NASDAQ from Friday, that's right here, right? That little area that I just showed you. You know what? That was the 2-minute chart. I can't get it to replicate to look good. I think it might have been the 2. Yeah, it was the 2. So after we broke that channel, right, on Friday, after we broke this little this slow uptrending channel, something like that, right? You see that? After we broke that on Friday, you started to get that reversal, right? The first sign of a lower high, right? This is a really nice, actually, intraday sort of move here on Friday. It's sort of a good example of how price action works, right? Because you had that higher low, higher high move all the way into supply, which was perfect, right? Right into supply from demand, higher high, higher low move, right into that level. Now, what you did here was you created a little head and shoulder formation, right? This high, new high, except this attempt, we could not make a higher high, right? We were not able to get above and make a higher high. So that was a very clear move there on Friday. Actually, not bad, right? It was very slow, but it was very clean. That was sort of what I was talking to the group about. It was very clean, right? A very clean supply rejection, but it was just so slow. So today, you're watching the same level. And yes, the market pulled back a little bit on Friday, but man, did it not go anywhere. It did not break down anything important. We are still holding up, right? Look at how this is holding up still. So as long as the NASDAQ, I would say, is above this Friday double bottom low, around this 16,760, I'd say it's staying pretty strong here. All right, as long as the NASDAQ can stay, above here or above here, I'd say that it's staying pretty strong. So I would be watching that 16.8 demand today. You can see that 16.8 demand held twice this morning. So 16.8 demand is my first watch. right? Looking to see if this level holds as a demand level, 16.8. If you get a further pullback than that, I would watch the Friday double bottom lows, right? You can see right here, Friday double bottom lows around that 16,760 is the level that I'd be watching. If you break under 16,760, right, I think that's where you could get maybe a little bit more aggressive to the downside into this area here, right? If you break under this 760 Friday double bottom low, if you break under that, then I would say it gets a little bit slippery under that Friday double bottom, right? So just think about that. If the NASDAQ just turned this high into supply again and now is breaking under previous day lows and turning it into a rejection, right? That is lower highs, and that's lower highs, lower lows. That's a previous low turning into rejection. So I think if you see that move, right, if that move comes in today, if you get a move under that Friday double bottom low, that could be where things sort of get a little bit fishy, right? Just a little bit if you start to see that. But we're not there yet, right? That's just hypothetical. So you have to watch for that. But that doesn't mean you hope and pray for it and you take a position now for it, right? So we have to wait and see if that happens. That's an idea. It's a hypothetical there. But for now, I would say look for the 16.8 demand, look for the 16.760 demand, and then, of course, watch out for the 16.885 supply. All right, those are really the trades that I'd be looking for today. A little bit of a supply here potential, right? I would be looking for demand at 16.8, demand at 16.760, or, of course, right, the trade that would really get things going would be the break and hold over that 16.886. Right? If you turn these previous highs right here into a new support, then that moves the market higher. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. I think it does. Hopefully I translate it the best I can. So QQQ, right? Very, very clear. Same levels, right? Supply, double top high around that 406.60, 406.50. That's very clearly a supply level above, right? You can see it right there and right there. So that's not hard to spot. So if the market is moving higher into that level today, this is not where you take long entries, right? You are not long right at a double top high, okay? You have to make sure you understand that. So if you are moving higher today, be careful of that rejecting, right? Be careful of rejections there, up there at that 406.60 area, that double top high. On Friday, 405 was a very important level, and we can see actually right now, I think 405 is having a little bit of trouble this morning. So I got to go down to the 2-minute. Excuse me. Monday morning, man. I got to go down to the 2-minute. I believe I can find it here. Yeah, so right there. Yep, that was it. So right here. This is from, we talked about, this is from Thursday. Thursday? Is that Thursday? Yes, Thursday. So Thursday on the QQQ, right, we were sort of screaming and hollering about this 405 level. All right, you see that? Look at all that. And look at that rejection later day on Friday, or on Thursday, right? So we knew that 405 level was important. That's a big supply right there. If we go into Friday, look at what it did here. Friday, rejections at 405, which then turned into support at 405, right, and moved higher, right? And so if we come into today, right, you can see how 405 is sort of reacting on this market. Look at this. All this action just right at 405. So what am I watching today? Watch for the 405 rejections on the QQQ or the break and hold above, right? That's key. 405, I think, is the first level to be watching here. If you move lower off 405, you have this double bottom low at 403.50. Right, so 405, QQQ, big level, sort of that intermediary level, that seesaw level right in the middle of the action. Right, you either get a hold above, for longs or a little rejection for shorts. Right, I think that's the level 405. Double bottom lows from Friday, 403.50, and then double top supply high at 406.60. That's really it, right? So overall, what do we see here? Overall, I see a channel, right? You guys can very clearly see that. The channel, 1 second. The channel on the QQQ, that's not what I wanted. The channel on the QQQ right there. All right, you can start to see or start to envision where a consolidation could start to come in. Like I sort of put in the title of this video. I can start to envision where that consolidation can start to come in, right? That 406.60, that 403.50, sort of that sideways move. So I would just be careful of the extremes, right? Be careful of the highs here and be careful of the lows here, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. ES, sort of the same thing, right? Let me go ahead and just start with our channel envisionment, our enlightenment. We are enlightened of the channel. Let me go ahead and sort of draw that out for you, right? You can start to see that sideways consolidation starting to form here, right? You can start to see that sideways consolidation starting to form here, right? You're starting to get that structure built. This is your foundation, right? Where do you break outside of your foundation? Do you get a break and hold above? Or do you break and hold below, right? That's where those big moves start to come. But until then, right, you stay inside this consolidation. So that's really the box that I would be watching, right? It's a little bit sloppy on the bottom side here, right? It's not perfect, but I mean, it's around this 47.60, 47.63. I would say it's all within this, honestly. I might just do this. I think it's all within this zone here is where that demand could step in, even down to the 55 level, right? 47.55. It's even down to there. I mean, yeah, it's like this in my eyes. All right, it's these lows here, 47.57, this 47.55, the 47.63, right? All these lows that came in here could all be demand hold areas here on the ES. So it's a little bit more, right? This is when you have to really sort of play zones and understand, monitor price action. Because when you see a low, a high here, a low here, a low here, and a low here, right? These are three different spots. This is a low, and a low, but they're all sort of right in that same zone, right? So for me, I like to create that zone, and then I like to watch what happens as you come back down into this area, right? Just sort of monitor that zone. So I would not be short into that, right? I would not be short into that 47.60, that 47.55 low. I would not be short into those lows. You can clearly see that demand stepping up. And then the 47.80 level is, I believe, probably your most important level of the day. Why is that? Because that's right here, right? 47.80, right? You have this little 47.80 rejection on Thursday, 47.80 rejections on Friday, 47.80, 47.80, 47.80, right? So you keep on rejecting this 47.80. If you can get a hold above 47.80 today, then I think that pushes you towards the 47.90, right? Up into that 47.90, right up here. That's your next supply level. That is your very clear double top rejection. So if you get above 47.80, that could sort of rally you towards that 90. Or if you reject this 47.80, you probably move back down towards these demand lows. But overall, right, it's sort of like it's just really sideways. It's not much meat on the bone, right? If you long 47.80 today, you only have about 10 points until double top highs. If you short 47.80 today, maybe you got about 10 points to the downside. It's nothing major here, right? You can clearly see the consolidation. So please understand that. Just understand sort of the market action as we speak. All right. SPY. All right. That's a big right there. Yeah. Interesting little Interesting little break of trend here on the SPY. Interesting little downside move that got held very nicely around this 468.50, 470 area, right? It's really sort of that 468.50 and 470. You can clearly see the demand that stepped up there. 470 holding very nicely this morning. Let me go back to the 15-minute chart. So you can see right there what level was holding this morning on the SPY. Very clearly the 470 level, right? And the 470 is the previous highs from that Wednesday FOMC, right? That wick high around that Wednesday FOMC around 470, 470, 470, right? And you can see this morning holding 470. So as long as the SPY is above 470, I would say longs are there, right? And look for longs off that 470. If you break under that 470, then you might move down into that 468.50. That's Friday lows, right? That's Friday lows right here. So Friday lows, 468.50. You have that 470 demand to watch. And then to the upside, right? To the upside, you got the 472 supply. That's what I'd be careful of right up here. 472 supply. And then, of course, the 473.50. All right? So hopefully that makes sense right there. All right. We got over all the... let's take a look at the little Russell. Let's take a look at the Russell real quick, because that thing's been sort of interesting. What a rip on Wednesday, man. So you guys know I don't look at this Russell chart, right? And so here's the thing that I love about when I check into a chart, right? When I check into a chart like this that I don't look at for weeks at a time, and I see it reacting to all my zones, right? That's when I know, right, technicals are at work, right? Because I have a zone here, a zone here, and a zone here. I have not touched this chart, right? I think a few weeks ago we popped in on the Russell and made some levels. But if we go to the 4-hour chart, actually, you know what? We got to go even further here. If we go to the daily chart, it actually looks like the level is a little bit off. No, I think it's a decent level there. You got a little bit of action from there. But then this is really, I would have this marked out as well, right around this 2050. Make sure to have that marked out, right? If you're trading the Russell, right up there, right? Y20 right here is this high. This is the level I'd be watching right there. See that high right there? That's around 2012, 2009. That looks to be sort of that area that we're sitting on right now. 2012, 2009, actually. Yeah, I'd actually be playing it like this. I'd be looking to see if that high turns into a demand here. Let me go ahead and let me change this up 1 second. I'll get you a little bit of an updated view here. So you have that 2006 sort of demand here. You have demand, right? All this is holding this 2005, 2006 area. If we extend this level to the left, let's see where that sort of pops in at. Yeah, look at that. So look at this right here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. All right, you can see how this sets up. Look at this right here. See this? Right at that level, that 2006 area on the Russell. What happened here? Look how clear this is. Rejections into support, and support. All right, look how, and back into rejections. So you can see, right, just been extending that level to the left, right? Something that's a little trick that I do, right? If I see a short-term level here, and I'm like, hey, this is a nice little short-term level, right? I can see the market trying to hold this area, right around this 2006 area. Let me go ahead and press on it, right? Let me double-click. Actually, no, sorry. Right-click and extend to the left. It's a little bit easier when that's not there. Extend to the left, right? And then when you extend that to the left, it goes to the left indefinitely, and then you can go back, right, and say, okay, where else is this line touching something that's important, right? And you can see right there, it surely is. So I'd watch that 2005, 2006 level in the Russell. I think that's important. All right. Tesla. All right. So here we go. Yeah, 255 today, guys. That's really my level. I'm watching this 255, 254 area, right? Right here on Tesla. So Tesla on Friday really didn't do anything. Did a whole bunch of nothing. But this 250 level is a pullback level that I'm going to be watching today, right here. Around this 250. You guys can see right here, you have this low, these lows here. I think if you pull back towards that 250, that could be a little demand hold level to watch. Around that 250, around that Friday low. Above 255, I absolutely love the potential of more upside. Right? If you turn this 254, 255 level, if you turn these previous rejections right here, if you turn all this into a new support right here, above 255, I would absolutely look for more upside, right? So above 255, if we break and hold above that today, I'm going to look for that potential long towards that 260, right here, towards that 260. Right here, back on the 4-hour chart, you guys can see we had 255 right there, 255, 255. Next supply in my eyes is up here around this 260, these 260s up here, right? So I'm going to watch pretty much every 5 point, because the next one, right, the next supply in my eyes is probably around this 263.50. Then you got a little bit at 269, 270, right? And to top it all off, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we talked about this chart. Right? I hope some of you remember this. We talked about this really little sexy weekly flag here, man. This looks interesting, right? Look how clean. This is like, is it 100? It almost feels like 100%, doesn't it? And that's the problem with trading, right? Because you see this and you get super confident in it, but this almost feels like a 100% bull flag weekly chart breakout incoming, right? Doesn't it? Doesn't this just look absolutely proper for another upside move, right? Let me go ahead and take the drawing tools off and sort of clean this up for you. All right, look how clean this is. You see that structure, right? You see that structure right there. You see the previous lows that turned into rejections that are now turning back into support, right? And you can just see how clean that is right there. Weekly chart, that is very clean. We'll see, man. It looks good to me, right? It looks good to me. Except we'll have to see if the market can really contribute to that upside. I would say if that really gets going, that's going to move, towards this 300, 310 area, right? That would really be your big high level target. Would be up into that 310, 300 area if this can really break out of this flag, right? But we'll see. We'll have to watch, right? I took a Roku trade, which you guys know about, and I'm down. I'm probably going to have to take a loss on that, trying to trade a similar setup here, right? A similar flag setup, which did not work. So obviously, it's a little bit of a different stock. This is Tesla we're talking about, so we'll have to see. But yeah, that weekly chart's very interesting. Let me go back to our chart. And so here we go, right? 254, 255. If I see that hold, that would be my catalyst to look for upside today. All right. 3010. All right. Here is Nvidia. And man, is this stock just continues to impress me, man. It just continues to look so clean. And so you guys probably know what I'm about to say, right? You probably already know what I'm about to say. Previous highs. Let me make that red, actually. Previous high, previous high, previous high. You get a breakout of that level, right? If you come back down into this area and turn this into support around this 486, I would absolutely be looking for potential longs off this level around 486 today. But I would like a pullback to that, right? Ideally, we get a pullback towards that 486 level. So that would be, again, just another stair-stepping level to the upside. We've done this exact same thing prior. Rejection, 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 right, into support. You had a little bit of a drop here, but it had a very nice demand hold there, right, into support. I'm going to say that, right, sort of that previous high into a stair-stepping low. previous high right here into a potential stair-stepping low, right? That's what I want to see. So 486, right? That's sort of the area that I would love to see a pullback into today for potential longs, right? Back into those previous highs. Look to see if I could long around that 486 level. If you break under that, it gets weak. Supply above, I think, is at 500. There's really not much above there until 500 in my eyes. Yeah, I mean, 489 is valid. I mean, you could look at it like 488 here. Maybe it doesn't break down to that 486 level, right? Maybe, but I would rather it, I would rather it move down into that 486 personally. All right, AMD, 140. 140. You guys can see right here, we have that high, right? Right here, 140, 140, 140. That would really be the level on AMD, right? That's really the level. So if we get a break and hold above 140, potential long on was it Friday? No. Was it Friday? Did we trade the AMD supply rejection on Friday? I think we did. Yeah. On Friday, the AMD 140 supply rejection, right? And so you can play both sides here, right? Play both sides, watch that 140. Which side does it which side does it show? You can see right here, 140 on Friday. Look at all those rejections, right? That's clear as day. 140 got nailed on Friday. Nice downside right there. So you can absolutely play both sides. I would watch 140 on AMD today. That has been a big level to trade off of, and I would watch it again. 1,800 people, 700 likes. Enjoy the ad, my friends. Let's double ad it. All right. So, AMD, 140. All right. Let's go to, I want to show you guys Microsoft. And the reason I want to show you Microsoft is because it's actually a pretty interesting hold. I need a coffee. Who's got coffee for me? in the Jersey accent or New York accent. Cup of coffee. In all honesty, if we zoom out here on Microsoft, you are actually holding very nicely on the daily chart, on the weekly, right? Look at this Microsoft chart on the daily right here. So you can see right here, right? Previous highs on Microsoft, previous all-time highs. That's an all-time high in Microsoft around 366, right? And so, I mean, it's pretty impressive, right? You got to think about this. It's pretty impressive that Microsoft has been able to break over a previous all-time high, which is right here, right? And then hold above it for, a couple, about a week and a half, right? You see that. It's been able to hold above a previous all-time high right there, right? Turn that high into new lows. So that's pretty impressive, right? You got to make sure you zoom out and understand that larger picture there. Now, I will say, right, Microsoft is it's not moving, but this is consolidation at its finest as of right now on Microsoft, right? You can see just how clear this thing just continues to hold that 366 previous all-time high and how it continues to reject this sort of 375, 376 area, right? You can very clearly see that. And so until that breaks, right, you trade the range. If you really want to trade the range, right, you trade the range. You look for the range high for supply. You look for the range low for demand, right? That's all you can really do here, long, short, until it breaks out of that. And so I would watch 376 highs. I would watch those 366 lows. I would watch that overall channel. And I would make sure you understand, though, larger picture, right? I'd make sure you understand bigger picture, that this is actually a very solid hold on Microsoft still, right? That is still a very solid hold on Microsoft above that 366. All right, next, Google. Google has been very weak. This is a no trade stock for me this week. It was last week. It really was too. I stayed away from it after taking a loss on it because Google has not traded with the market, right? Google has not traded with the market. You can see right here, you do have that strong demand, right? That keeps coming in around this 133. You can very clearly see that demand below around 133. But then you also have this previous low, which has now turned into a supply rejection level. So you are just messing around in this channel, and that's just, oh man, I didn't want to do that. Let me see if I can get that lined up, actually. Let's see. Not quite. But you know what I'm saying here, right? This is just messing around inside this channel, right? And I wouldn't be involved. I would not be involved. I would wait for Google to do something real, right? I'd wait for Google to get, let's say, above that high, below these lows, right? Wait for it. I would not mess around at this 100 SMA, this 50 SMA, right? You're going to get, it's just too choppy in here, right? This is a 2-point range that's just going to chop you up. The price action is going to be crap. I would stay away from it. Wait for a break of this channel. I'd probably stay the same for Microsoft too, right? And guys, again, this is part of trading. You understanding what's happening on the market, realizing the market conditions. And so when you look at a stock like Microsoft, you got to say, hey, we're in a channel. I got to be careful there. Same as Google, right? Hey, we're in a 2-point channel. I really don't like the potential of action in there. Let me be careful. And maybe you don't trade it. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Let's go Amazon. So Amazon hasn't been that clean. It really hasn't. I wanted it to be a little bit cleaner here on Amazon. I'll go to the hourly chart. I really wanted a nice clean hold above this 148.50. We got a little bit of that, just a little on Friday. Actually, it was sort of this high that held, which is pretty nice actually. All right, if you go to that 149, that's pretty nice, right? If you see, I mean, you probably keep the whole level, right? 148.50 to 149 is sort of what I'd have there. You can see the 149 high. I'm just going to delete these real quick. You can see the 149 high right here. Right in here, 149 high. And so if we go to the 5-minute chart, this was actually pretty nice now that I look back at it. Right here, 149. 149, 149, 149, 149. That's Friday, right? You can see how well we held that 149 level on Friday on Amazon. And that was that previous high. So what I would be looking for ideally for me would be a pullback to that 149 again for a potential long opportunity. I'd look for that, right? That'd be something I'd be watching. Or is it just a hold above this little high right here, right? And look at this sort of happening as we speak. That's actually quite interesting. So are we looking for just a high, a break and hold above the high at 150.50 right here, 150.50, 150.5. You have a previous high here, a previous high here, and it looks like as we speak, it's trying to hold above that area. So I would watch this little Amazon double top high. It's really like 150.55 right there. See that? 1, 2. So I would sort of monitor that, see if that holds above that 150.5. You could look for these highs around 150, right? You could look for that as well, right there. Or I would look for 149. So a few different pullback levels to be watching here on Amazon. I'd watch 150, 150.5, right? And then 149. All right. Let's go to Roku, the one that got me. She got me, man. Roku. I tried to trade Roku. Haven't traded it in probably a year, and it just didn't work as I planned. Right? It did not work as I planned, and it looks like I'll have to accept my loss here today. I wanted to see it hold this 96 level. I was hoping to see it hold. I was looking to see it hold this previous high. Right? I was looking to see if Roku could turn that high, this little consolidation, and then that consolidation right there. Right? I was looking to see if it could hold that previous high, sort of flag back down into it, and eventually create that sort of flag to new highs, or at least a push. Right? Didn't get it. At least not right now. Right? At least not right now. So I'm going to watch this a little bit today. You can see Roku is under the 96 level. And if it does not have any strength here to try to reclaim that level today, all right, if we can't reclaim anywhere near this today, then I'll be exiting, right? If we start to see this hold again, then I'll try to maintain it. But if this thing just rejects, it starts to move lower again, then yeah, I'm just going to jump out and take my loss. I like the setup. I would take the setup again, right? But yeah, this is just a good example of that level not holding. And do I contribute this part to Roku being Roku, right? Do I contribute this to part of, it's not a big cap name. It's not an Apple. It's not an AMD. It's not an Nvidia. Do I contribute part of that to, do I think that's part of the reason why this isn't working? I actually do believe that personally. I don't find that these small cap names or these sort of names that have been under a lot of pressure, or some of these small upstarts of the world, Rokus of the world, all these sort of smaller cap names, I don't find the technicals being as strong. And that's why I really don't expand outside of what I trade majority, but this time I did. And I got reminded again, right? I got reminded again of why I don't expand out of my Teslas, Nvidias, AMDs. Again, I'm reminded why I don't expand past those individual stocks. So yeah, we'll see what happens today. Today, I'm either going to close it for a loss, or if it gets back above 96, I'll manage it. Is an example of trading outside of what you know. I don't think it's a trading of outside of what you know, because the strategy was the same. What I was looking for is the same, but I would say I have less time testing my strategy on a stock like Roku, right? I have way more hours and way more days of testing my strategy on a stock like Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, Google, Microsoft, right? I know it works on that. How many times have I traded Roku break and retest? Maybe a handful of times in my lifetime. So yeah, just, hey, little lesson there. Stick to what you know, right? No reason to expand out to other stocks if you're finding success. I tried to take this Roku setup, and it looks like I will be taking a loss. So I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated on that. All right. Let's jump to Apple real quick, and then let's jump out of here, guys. It's time to jump out of here. So here's Apple. And so you guys can see right here, Apple. This is the level to watch today. I'd say this 196 and this 195. I would watch both these levels, 195, 196. I would look to see if Apple can hold that 196 or hold that 195 on a pullback long. If you break under 195, then you get more downside, right? If you break under 195, then you get more downside under that 195 level. So I would watch 196, 195, and then, of course, I'd be careful of the supply above at the all-time highs, 198.50. What did I miss? Anything? I think that's it. Let's go back to the NASDAQ futures real quick. Get a quick update so you can see real quick, right? Look at what's happening. You are still holding. You got your supply highs there, but you are still holding this demand low. So 16.8 demand low. You can very clearly see that. On the ES, 47.80s. I would also actually put this like here, to be quite honest. Let me see if I want to adjust this a little bit. I think I do. I think I want to adjust this just a tad. Yeah, I think it's more of like this right here. Like this 47.78. I think it's a little bit more like that, right? Because look at this right here. Previous high, 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 previous low. All these lows right here, right? You can start to see that reaction. Yeah, I like that 47.78 as a sort of a demand there. You can sort of see it just sort of solidified that just a little bit right there. And then obviously that NASDAQ 16.8. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. If you guys could, before you head out, press that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your guys' support as always on the live stream. I appreciate you guys coming here, pressing the like, subscribing to the channel. Oh, yeah, Netflix. Actually, a nice one there. Look at that. We talked about this all day on Friday. We talked about that little sneaky 470 hold. Beautiful. Nice little 470 hold. Nice little break, little retest. Nice hold. Watch out for that high up there. 485. All right. Thank you again, guys. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully those NASDAQ ES levels are good for you. I'm going to post them right now in the chart Discord. So if you guys are part of that, I'll go put those in the chart Discord. Also the individual stocks as well. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.